Hello YouTube, this is Mightymuffin with another episode of my Let's Play. I'm on my test world playing with a couple new designs. This is a dropper elevator that I optimized a bit. It's now on a 1 clock instead of, well, a 2 clock. And because this is on 2 ticks, it can actually get every item to go up at a much faster rate. If it were on 1 tick, it couldn't. If you put more delays here, you'll be able to make your elevator higher. My second invention is for my mine. I need to work out the timings a little better, but it's a hidden, a hidden area for that mine shaft. I'm probably going to use, instead of just having the 2, or the 1 rather, I'll put in 4, just because that hole's a little hard to hit when you're on a speed 2 buff. But that's I don't know what I'm going to do with these buttons. I might put a bunch of them around the perimeter of that storage room so that I have one within easy reach wherever I am. I'm not sure. And the third thing I've been working on is a farm solution. So you'll see these dispensers shot water, and they'll suck the water back up. Down here there's a 4x8 plate of pistons with inverters. I've never really done this big of a plate of pistons before, so I had to kind of figure this out as I went. But I have every other with repeaters and redstone, and underneath here I have an opposite pattern. And that allows me to retract or extend the entire plate. And back here I have 2 monostable circuits. This one is for when I want to harvest. So it's on a 4 tick delay from, well, it's on a 4 tick delay here from where these pistons retract. And that's enough time to spit out the water. This one is 8 ticks before these ones extend again. This monostable circuit fires on a 2 tick pulse, and it powers these inverters here, which goes up the tree and hits the dispensers. Now there's an extra repeater here, or an extra tick of delay here, because I was having issues with the dispensers both simultaneously picking up the water source. My solution was just to stagger it by 1 tick, and that seems to have fixed it. So that pretty much covers all the new toys I've been working on for my LP world. So I'll head on over there, and you'll see me there. So, putting some more levels on my mob farm is going to be a bit of a challenge. I need more metal. If only lapis were useful for something. I'm also basically bankrupt on gold too. And my diamond supply is also pretty low. That, of course, being the price of my friend the quadruple beacon. But yeah, this is going to have to be pushed up another, I don't know, 10 blocks or so, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That will be the ground floor block. So the ground will be right there. I do like that jump 2 gives me enough time to mine out something while I'm jumping, because normally I couldn't reach that. And with normal jump you don't have enough time. So I'm going to have to probably, I'll leave this clear because I'll be able to put in the farms. I won't have to clear for them because, well, this area is already cleared. But what you see now, this room, will be the circuitry room for the 4 farms and overflow for any extra sorting room stuff. Since it's a big giant space and I only plan on having 4 wide farms, so let's see, this is the center here, so this bit here will be taken up from, let's see, there's 4, there's the river, and there's the border, there's 4 river border. So from there to there, that torch to that torch, and 8 long. So this room is going to be dominantly empty, which is actually kind of fortunate because I'll be able to put a lot of my wiring for future rooms above and future projects below. Definitely need to use some of this area for the auto brewing room that one of these days I'll get around to building. So even though it kind of sucks that this room isn't where the finished room will be, this space still needed to be cleared mostly. I could have saved myself some time because all these corners wouldn't have needed to be cleared, at least for this current project, but they might as well be cleared for future projects. And for the center here, the buttons I was talking about, I'm thinking buttons like here and here, like on all of these, with the exception of right here, of course. I might move this just so I can put a button there, I don't know. But I'll need buttons on all of those, just so that wherever I am I can hit the button and have it delayed enough that I can run over here and hop on down. And I'll be able to simplify it. I mean, these 2 buttons will run together, and these 2 buttons will run together, and then I'll combine these 4 buttons in the center here and run delays all the way to here, where it'll meet up with the other 4 wires. I'm kind of glad I left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks of space between my mine shaft and this floor. That gives me a little room to work with circuitry in the future. But I have a very busy episode ahead of me. Guess it's time to get started with some mining. I think my fortune pick should last me, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I will be back once I've done some mining and possibly some enchanting, because I'm getting a little skinny on my pickaxes. I mean, I have the 3 fortune picks still. My silk touch pick is still going strong. But I don't really have a good set of mining picks anymore. So I'm probably going to have to go do that soon too. So either you'll see me in this room or in this base again once I've finished mining, or in the end once I've finished enchanting. Figure it out once I get there. So while I was at my ender, I decided to take a look and try to figure out why my farm was being so inefficient. And this is what I discovered. Entire lines were disabled until I do that. So my solution, rather straightforward, is to add a 2-tick delay to this. That should force the pulse length to be 2 ticks, which means it shouldn't be able to happen again. I say shouldn't because I didn't actually test it out. I'm just using my existing knowledge of redstone, which could be wrong, so I guess we'll find out soon enough. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this irritating task up, and guess we'll be back after that. And here we go. Let's see if that makes me a happy camper again. I've also installed my one and only mod for this series. It's a village marker, just to help me deal with villages a bit. It doesn't add anything other than marking villages. Oops. Yeah. Well, that is significantly better. I guess I'm going to farm up some Endermen now that my farm is capable of producing at acceptable rates. Well, folks, it finally happened. After a ridiculous number of enchants, I have my new shears. My Efficiency 5 Silk Touch 1 Unbreaking 3 shears. It only took an absolutely insane amount of books to get. And a lot of these books are combined, like all these. I ran up to Efficiency 4s. I ran my sharpnesses up. Still looking for one more sharpness 3 so that I can finish off this backup looting sword since it's too expensive to repair these. But I now have my shears. It only took several hundred books. Remember, this row used to be full of books. Not so much anymore. I am very, very happy. So I have been very, very busy. Burned through 2 nice pretty diamond shovels with Efficiency 5 and nearly killed my new diamond pickaxe. But it was worth it. You can see I've been doing a little bit of excavation over here. It was all the way down there, 64 blocks from this point here, and it goes some 50 some odd blocks that direction. Because I plan on building the iron trench designed by Tango Tech. I'll link the tutorial video of his in there. It's really informative. It's a little bit long, but you're interested in doing something like this, you really should give it a look. And it will produce, basically it's compressing 32 villages into a very, very tiny amount of space by manipulating the way villages pick their size. You can manipulate them in a way that you can have 1 block wide villages capable of producing iron golems. So this farm will be 32 villages that are 1 block wide in a row, stacked on top of each other, along with a moderately complex setup of redstone that is used to, well, it basically builds the villages, because every time the chunks that it is in unload, the villages will be destroyed. So they need to be rebuilt through this system, which basically just detects that it's not getting any iron golems passing through it. And when it detects this, it says, okay, well, I guess all of my villages are broken, so let's build them again. It's a complex circuit, but that's what the video that explains the system is for. Basically, most of this space over here will be blank. From this block here to this block here will be where the farm is. It's exactly 24 blocks wide, which is a little bit fortunate because that's the width of the structure. And down that ways, all the way towards the end, there's another structure that helps build the villages. Once they're built, it has no function. And that is why I put this village marker mod in. Technically you don't need it, but it'll make life easier. I'll link the video for the mod maker in the description as well. They're both the mod and the design are pretty awesome, and you should watch their videos. So I am going to maybe go repair my pickaxe. Need more diamonds to do that though, I think. I might just leave that in there and grab one of these. Well, let's grab the one that's damaged. I also repaired my silk touch, and one of my new shovels was silk touch as well. But I need more good just mining pickaxes. Unfortunately, I let mine break, and I'm basically bankrupt on diamonds. So I need to go farming again. But I think I have enough iron. It requires a huge amount of iron to build this farm. So many hoppers. So many pistons. Those are basically the two big expenses of iron. I also need to get some villagers here, which is why I went and found that village. But I'm debating whether I want to bother carting villages over here or if I just want to convert 3 zombies. Because with 3 zombies I can make an infinite breeding cell. After converting them back into villagers, that is. And that might just be easier, I don't know. The village actually isn't that far, it's that direction. And it's that direction by about 1,000 blocks, but I have a portal and a pathway built to it, so it's not too bad. But I don't know, I hate dealing with getting villagers to go where you want. They're a pain. They never go in the minecart when you want them to, and I really don't have that many minecart tracks. Now I could just go to a abandoned mine shaft and get them, but I hate minecarts. I really do. I don't like using them for anything, just because they're tedious. But I might play with a little more once I have basically infinite iron. I'm also considering playing with a silo system. Tango Tech's Iron Trench had a silo to handle the absolutely enormous quantities. But I'm thinking, I haven't watched his silo video, he has one, but I'm thinking of just building one of my own that acts as a massive buffer in the sorting system for resources like iron and various other ones. I think it would be fairly simple to build if you just chain a bunch of double chests together so that the top double chest will always drain into the next double chest down, until that double chest is full. You can just chain them like that as high as you want and create infinitely large buffers, assuming you have infinite amounts of wood to make chests and iron to make hoppers. But that is a project for the future once I get the iron farm up and running. And the iron farm up and running will allow me to actually easily build the sorting system I want to build, because that requires a ludicrous amount of hoppers. So it's kind of something I need to do. That and this. But this requires iron too. So I'm thinking the iron trench is the best place to start, because getting the iron trench will allow me to build the sorting system and complete my mob tower. Completing the mob tower and eventually the melon tower will allow me to, and there goes my FPS, will allow me to build my brewing station. My brewing factory, rather, over here. So, if I do things in that order, it should make life easier. Also, this will give me the gunpowder I need to quickly clear that brewing stand area, because, frankly, clearing without TNT is a pain. And if I can get infinite TNT, why not? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I will be back once I've gotten some of the basic resources. I'm not going to go into detail about how to build the iron trench, but I'll try to explain some of the concepts as I'm building. I'm certainly not going to show you the whole process, but I'll turn on the camera every now and then and let you see what the progress is and explain what some of the circuitry is doing. Okay, so this is the cross section. This will be one of the 32 villages. Well, this is the tileable cross section. Basically, you trick it into making those, what is that, 9 doors, and those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Huh. Thought they were supposed to. You basically make all those doors connect into a single village that centers on a spot right there, and that level are the spawning floors for the golems. It's basically how it works. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to explain all the mechanics behind it, but I'll stop in occasionally to show my progress. So this is the reason I wanted Silk Touch on my shears. Watch the durability bar there. It's never going to go down because I'm not using it for its intended purpose. But the enchants, or at least the Silk Touch enchant, are still in effect. So I've almost completed the first part. So many doors. That's the main reason I haven't quite completed it yet. I ran out of wood. And I had quite a lot, obviously. I also don't quite have the iron or crystal resources to fill out this hopper chain here. But these pistons, along with the 2 rows of, there they are, these 2 rows of pistons are what rebuild the villages when they've been destroyed because the chunk unloaded. Like I said, I need another row over there yonder to help in the rebuilding process, but I haven't quite got to that yet since I ran out of the lumber I need to even build this section. The next stage is to build a couple platforms out on both ends, over there and over here, on a couple of these floors. And then it's time to start playing with ludicrous amounts of redstone and etho timers, which are pretty fantastic. But I will probably be back to show off this stage when it's completed, plus the built out platforms. Because I still need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of 32 doors. So that's 2.5 stacks of doors if doors stacked. Plus this extra bit. Plus 32 doors for over there. So 3+ stacks of doors. Which is what, 5 stacks of lumber? Which is probably about 50% more, well no, not 50%, but 25% of the lumber that I had beforehand. This just means though that I will did it go? No. Yep. Continue my project over here. And see that hill right there. Well, that's jungle, but I de-treed it. I've been wiping out all of the trees. There it loads in that jungle because I have a couple ideas for something I might want to do over there, but trees don't figure prominently in those plans. That is another fairly impressive sized structure that is surrounding my base. I'm not quite sure what I'll do on the surface over here, but it might involve a village of some sort. As long as it's far enough away from these guys, which I think it is. It needs to be 70+ blocks away from this so it can't interfere. And the reason it's like this, all these torches are here, because the platform is 8 blocks long plus 1 for the wall, which goes exactly to this trench here. And I'll need 2 of those. So I guess I will be back once I've farmed up a fairly large quantity of wood and gotten my iron supply re-bolstered since I burned all of my iron. I now have 0 iron in ingot shape. I have quite a lot of iron there, but well, I don't want to get rid of that iron. So I need to figure out some way of dealing with that. I might just cannibalize some of the hoppers in my mob trap, because frankly that's not really operational yet anyway, and I don't really care. And once I get this up and running, I'll have more than enough iron to replace those. Now, if only I could come up with an automated method of getting lumber. That would be just wonderful. Also, I kind of like how the vines creep. I put 4 vines here, I think this row, and it's become all that. And I put 4 vines over here and it's become all that. It seems to stop at a certain point. Although it might be because of those torches, I don't know. Are there torches over here? Nope. But it's kind of handy. It's kind of annoying for some circumstances, but I decided I needed vines over here to make it quicker instead of burning all of my ender pearls. But that pretty much concludes my little presentation of what I've done so far for the iron trench. Guess I'll be back once I've completed this stage. So I just looked at the time and it's that wrapping up point again. So I will be back next time to show the progress of the iron trench. Until next time, thanks for watching. As always, any comments on how I can improve my videos is always appreciated. Thank you.